how I gave up anger for Lent and took up praying for my enemies. Need prayer? You could ask me to pray for you and then hope I don't just blithely say I will but not follow up. Or you could just tick me off and ensure I'll do it. That's because I gave up anger for Lent. This year, I struggled with what I should deprive myself of: candy, television, or some other vice. But I have to watch television for my job, and candy actually helps me stay alert after I've taken migraine medicine. So I kept looking until finally it smacked me in the face: anger. As I've noted before, I like getting angry and holding grudges way more than I like candy or television, so clearly that would be a much bigger sacrifice. I resolved that every time I started to get angry or resentful at anyone, I'd pray for them instead. It was an original idea. Jesus told his followers to do just that almost 2,000 years ago. And since Ash Wednesday was the beginning of Lent, fell on Valentine's Day this year, it was like God was rubbing it in about loving my enemy. Naturally, I didn't get through the first day without starting to seethe at somebody about something. I don't even remember who it was or what it was about, but I do remember that once I caught myself, I stopped and prayed for him. I felt a little better. But before long, that same person came back up again, and I had to pray for him yet again. This was going to be a long Lent. I decided to forgive him for however I had perceived him to have wronged me, and asked God to bless him and bring that person closer to himself. Then it hit me that I should also be praying for myself to stop having hateful thoughts against this person in the first place. He likely didn't even mean me any ill will, and even if he did, it probably came from some pain in his own past. Over the next few days and weeks, I continued to have these flare-ups and would immediately catch myself and pray for my enemy. But I also began to notice that these incidents were becoming less and less frequent. But before I could get too prideful at my success, something else would come up to stir my ire. Besides the daily political fights on cable news I have to watch as part of my job, there were incidents in the news itself. The Parkland school shooting happened literally on the first day of Lent. And then there was the aftermath and name-calling on both sides of the gun debate that followed. Then the Cambridge Analytica scandal exposed what people already suspected about Facebook, that they're allowing the scooping up of our personal data, often without our permission, and using it in ways we don't like. I've also been a Facebook foe. I long have been a Facebook foe. So I felt a bit of schadenfreude when its public image and stock price began to skid. Oops, there I went again, hating on somebody. So I had to pray for CEO Mark Zuckerberg and everyone else at the social media platform. Recently, a severe hailstorm hit my town. My phone began ringing with multiple calls offering me a free roof inspection. My house suffered no damage, but my spirit did when these people I strongly suspected of being hustlers wouldn't take no for an answer. So I prayed for them too. It was becoming more second nature. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. Jesus, in Matthew 6:15, New International Version. Finally, it was Holy Week. I'd almost made it, but as I prepared to do some yard work on Maundy Thursday, my phone rang. I recognized the name of the woman that the caller asked for. I don't know this Angela, but I've answered a lot of calls for her over the past year or so. She apparently applies for loans all over creation and has decided to give out my phone number as hers. Not only do I get calls from banking institutions asking for Angela, I get texts, often addressed to her name, offering me quick loans. The texts doubly bedevil me because I hate text messaging as much as I hate anything. Sometimes I get a last name for Angela, though it varies slightly. I've tried to look her up, but without much success, until my Maundy Thursday caller. He said he was a roofer and provided not only her full name, but also her address. My wife looked her up online, and boom, there she was. One of the foci of my hate and disgust for more than a year. I could call her actual phone number, or I could drive right up to her house and confront her. I didn't figure I could call the cops since I didn't know that giving out my number is a crime. Plus, what if this Angela isn't really the culprit, but somebody else is using her name and my phone number to take out loans they never repay? In that case, she'd actually be a bigger victim than I am. Maybe the best response would be to pass along her landline number to the people who keep calling me and asking about her. If it's not her, she can straighten it out. If it is, she can straighten herself out. I decided that whatever I did, I didn't have to do it right away, though I could pray for her. Whoever she is, she's likely in desperate straits. Maybe God had her pick my number just so I could pray for her, and He could bless her. A messenger of God? Maybe. Her name, after all, is derived from the word angel. And maybe next year I can give up the things I do that make other people angry at me. Thanks for listening. You can keep up with my latest on Twitter or Medium.com. Look under my name, Greg Richter, or under my username, @Owen2. That's OWENTEW.